Right. Start getting more dates by doing less of them. A whole new strategy, a whole new mindset that you would have heard of because this is brand new. This has been tested over the last couple of years. I thought, give it to you guys, give you the sauce. I've been dropping sauce recently. You guys have been loving it. I'm going to drop even more sauce because this is the way. This is for the guys that maybe can't get a date with a girl. This is for guys that can maybe get a date once, but never a second, third, fourth time. So you're hearing all this advice and going, you got to get to know the girls. You got to, connect with her on a deeper level. And you're trying to. You're like, man, I'm trying to get a see her on in multiple dates, but it's not working. It's because you're doing something fundamentally wrong. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong, because I've done it for a lot of years. I thought I'd just give it to you now. So perfect. So the very first mindset that we have to destroy is dates were cool. That's the first mindset, because dates are outdated and are not part of the new method. You have to understand the new method, the new world, the new method. They're all preaching on this crap on the new world order, and this. Man, we gotta understand. We need to. It's a time for a new twist. We need to twist everything. We need to make it better for you. So I'm gonna make it better for you. So this new method. What is this new method, Sam? New method. I'm gonna tell you. So practice number 1 is dates are so old school. So let me just dock myself down here and get a little bit closer to it, so you feel like I'm a bit more personal. Dates are so old school. Over the last couple of years, we had something that allowed us not to date, and we couldn't date. We're like, so when we were allowed to date, the market just flooded. Everyone was dating everybody. And so we had this date oversaturation. No one cared about them. The girl that you're asking on that date had been to that restaurant 5 different times over the last couple of years. She'd got the best restaurants. She'd done the mini golf dates. She'd done the movie dates. She'd done everything. So she was over them. Right? And so we have to change the game that we're playing in. We can't play the same game. It's like playing, doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We have to play it differently. So I'll give you an example. One girl I couldn't crack until I did this method. And, I knew she liked me because I'd been on one date with her. And I was like, fantastic, we'll be able to go on another date. And I couldn't crack her. I couldn't get her on that second or third date. I couldn't see her again. I know she liked me because she basically said it on the date, until I tried this method. And so I'm going to tell you the method that I did that was able to get this girl. So the whole idea is stop dating and start inviting. So start inviting chicks to the things you are doing. So the whole premise of a date, at a little bit of a core essence, is that you're jumping into her reality. Hey, even when you're like, hey, let's go on a date on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully you're not doing that, because that just, every time you ask it makes you look needier and needier and needier. But hopefully you're doing things like, hey, what's your availability this week? She's like, Thursday. Hey, let's do a date on Thursday. Hopefully you're getting that. But even that strategy might not even work for you. It seems like, something came up or this or that. Everything, they'll give it 1,000 different excuses for the things that they don't want to go on the date. So what I started to do was start inviting girls to the things I was doing, my reality, what I was doing in my life. Because when I started to do that, the whole relationship and the whole dynamic of the interactions was completely different. I was being put on a pedestal by the girl because the things I was inviting her to were cool. They were improving her life. Her knowing me was making her life more entertaining, more interesting, more exciting. So that put me on a higher level. And so by that, I understood that, even through hypergamy, where girls date up, she might be a 7. She's looking at a guy 7.5 and an 8. I was that 8 to her. And I was like, wow, she was a 7.5 and she was looking at me like, this guy's a 9. Oh my God. That's what I was doing. And what only held me back was the things that I can invite girls to. That was the only thing, what my mind could conjure up. And so I've invited girls back to, to go to the chemist, the doctor, the beach, the grocery store. Heck, the Summer Rae story that I've got right here is her ex-boyfriend. Summer Rae, big influencer, big booty influencer, you could say. Her ex-boyfriend, actually, on their very first date, let's just say, invite date, was, hey, I'm going to Whole Foods, which is a grocery store in the US. Want to come get some groceries with me. Now, the reason why that worked so efficiently was that the last point, which is you must go through with whatever you invite the girl to, through with the plans, regardless if she says yes or no to come. You must go through with it, right? So if you say, hey, I'm going to go to the movies with a bunch of friends, go to the movies with a bunch of friends. Don't just like don't just use this as another way to get a girl to date you. Like, go do fun activities. Because, like I tell the guys in social life mentoring, one of the things you can do is that you can invite a girl to something, and even if she doesn't come, you can post some stories causing some FOMO on your Instagram, and the girl's like, oh man, she might even text you back later. I know that I've had that happen. Oh man, I wish I could have come. I don't think she said, oh man. She's like, oh, I wish I could have come. And then the next time you invite her to something, she's more likely to come. Bang. There we go. Now we're using our brand. Now we're one step ahead of the game. Now we're changing the dynamics of what we're doing in the dating realm. So now I already know what the very first thing is. Like, Sam, I don't have events to go to. And this is where practice number 3 comes in, lifestyle game. Events are the invite you send out to the girl, so you must stack your calendar with events. You must have cool things going on. Now, if you don't have cool things going on, I want you to go on to Google right now and go to Eventbrite, or you type in on Google, cool events that are happening in my city this week, this month, this year. And you'll find there'll be some things that you could stack in your calendar that actually are cool things you can invite girls to, or at least text your buddies. Now, that is number 1. In the summary, I'm going to tell you exactly the second strategy, so pay attention to that. But you must stack your calendar. You must be doing things in your day. I remember, I would organize like Top Golf and invite the girls to Top Golf, and then if they didn't come, me and the boys would just go to Top Golf. Usually the girls would come and it'd be a great experience. And so sometimes I even did this where I'd invite 3 girls, and I know probably one would say yes, and so the other 2 girls are still incurring the FOMO of not coming, and they wish they came because their life would have been better if they came. So I'm using little tactics like that. So the invite game relies on your lifestyle game and relies on you actually going to events. So start going to the events. Now, how do you go to events? Well, here is practice number 4, which is be interested in things outside of women. So I've got the Lamborghini star moon analogy. So I was telling a buddy, he had a bunch of supercars. And I said, man, like, how'd you get so many supercars? And he's like, well, this amount of supercars was not in my vision. It was not in my goal. I wanted 50. I wanted 100 of them. And I was like, damn. And so, the analogy is that you've heard the saying, shoot for the stars and you'll get to the moon. So because he wanted 50 Lamborghinis or 50 cars, 50 supercars, he's got a bunch of them now. And so you have to be interested. Your paradigm of like success and your level of like obsession in your life can't just be women. It's got to be further than that. I want you to be obsessed with the grandest vision of yourself, the grandest version, the version of yourself that's giving so much to the world, so much value, that is making as much money as he can so he can support his family, so he can lift you out of poverty, so he can be the best version of himself, the grandest. Like, you got to be thinking big time. You can't be thinking like, okay, getting girls, that's exactly what I need to be doing in my life, because what you'll find is that'll be your stars and you'll always reach below it because you're moon. You'll never reach the pivotal point of what you want your life to become. So you've got to aim super far. So your paradigm has to be so much further. I want you to create this lifestyle that you're proud of, the lifestyle that you can have a family and children, and that they can look back at you and be like, Dad, actually, he did some crazy things in his life. Be super proud of you. You have a wife that's absolutely loving towards you. That's the vision. That's the goal. So it's not just, how do I get as many girls as possible? You have to create the grandest vision, the grandiose version of yourself, and live up to that. And so the things that you can be interested in is like art, music, hobbies, yoga, rock climbing, fashion, and doing cool shits with your friends. Go travel. Like, be interested in things outside of that. Your paradigm must be so much further than what it is. And so when you can do that, you'll find that there will be events that are coming up. Recently I went to a real estate. My buddy finished a house. And we went up to the Gold Coast and did a party in his real estate development that he just finished. So that was a cool thing that I did. I was able to invite girls to that. So you're only the version of you that is grandiose will get all the invites, will be cool. Like, he will want to go do these things. He's not a guy that just sits there and, well, how do I go to the nightclub? How do I get this? Like, that can be part of you, but you got to go bigger and grander and a bigger version than yourself. So that's how you're going to get the events. That's how your lifestyle is going to start to roll around. You're going to be invited to these events that you can invite the girls to. Now, as I said, there is a specialty. So I'm going to do the summary, which is more invites. The more you invite girls, they'll convert the girls that are hard to see again. So if you can see her once, don't try to keep going for a date, sushi date, this, that, date. No. You want to be going to more Okay, invite to events, invite to party, invite this. So you want to create a lifestyle that has a lot of events loaded in your schedule. And if you have no events, here's the specialty. Be the guy that makes the events. Be the initiator. In social life mentoring, we have rule number 2, which is life rewards people that are initiators. And what that means by that is that if you're initiating events, you have things now you can invite girls to. And you might not be able to get all the girls on the first invite or second invite, third invite, but if you guarantee you do this, this is much better than saying, hey, can we go on a date? 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 Throw invitations out to events that you're already going to. Like, this is the way to do it. So instead of being that needy guy, this is how you date less and get more dates, because you're throwing out invites, and you having 1, 2, 3 girls that potentially like you not only incurs social proof, but it makes you look amazing. So if you want help with this, click the link down below. Sign up for a call. Social Life Mentoring. You know it. I say it time and time again. #1 social dynamics platform in the world. #1 network and attraction group ever. You get me. You get my knowledge. You get things like this. Now go incorporate this. I know you're like, oh, this is a great video. No. Go incorporate this right now. Go. I'll see you in the next video.